since I can't snap my howdy my fellow gamers, and welcome to this week's 60-second review as we get the best of both worlds, a video game and a movie. That's what this channel's all about, really. But so this week we'll be tackling the 2016 sci-fi action movie Assassin's Creed, based off the popular franchise from Ubisoft. Directed by Justin Kurzel and starring Michael Fassbender and Jeremy Irons, Michael Williams, and more. Let's throw 60 seconds on the clock, 5 categories to rate, and see if we agree with the 36 from Metacritic and 18% from Rotten Tomatoes. Story. After receiving the death sentence, Callum Lynch awakens to find himself in Abstergo control, as they have traced him to be the descendant of Aguilar de Nara, who was the last assassin known to have protected the famed Apple of Edom. What follows is a jumbled mess of plot points and transitions as the Templars race for the apple using Cal. There's a good movie buried in here, but you've really got to dig deep. The scenes in the past, much like the games, were the best part of the movie, but even then things could have been handled much differently. They even set up for a sequel that I would have been okay seeing, but now never will. The story will receive a 5. Sound. The Animus whirring is pretty cool, and the sound design of the assassins and blade and action sequences were fun. There was nothing mind-blowing, there was nothing terrible, stabs sounded like stabs, and the soundtrack was pretty generic. Since it wasn't terrible, sound will receive a 7. Cinematography. Okay, probably my biggest gripe with the movie. There are too many damn cuts. It felt so choppy. Even mid-action sequence, the camera angle changes like 12 times and ruins what is actually a fun action sequence. The movie looked fine in terms of the actual cinematography and landscapes and environments. Even the overhead eagle shots weren't terrible. But it was like riding a car on a bumpy back road, just jostling you around the whole time and ruining the experience. Movie looked great, but the camera work was terrible. Since it's a kind of even split of good and bad, we'll say cinematography will receive a 4. Acting. With powerhouses like Iron, Cotillard, and Fassbender, I had high hopes, but sadly they were just themselves. I didn't feel like them being their characters. I felt like I was watching a rough screenplay of them. Irons being the bad guy with the awesome voice, Cotillard being the nice but evil one, Fassbender being the bored badass. Like, I just felt like they could have tried more and maybe turned the movie around, since they're great actors already. Them being themselves wasn't terrible, it just wasn't great. Acting will receive a 5. Length. Clocking in at just under 2 hours, the movie's paced decently enough that as a fan of the franchise, I didn't really feel like it was 2 hours. But there was some stuff that could have been cut or added or arranged differently to better improve said pacing. Action film fans are going to be very confused and have little idea of what's going on in this movie, as it was made for Assassin's Creed fans, and they dropped the ball even there. Length will receive a 6.5. And time. Final average score for the Assassin's Creed film is a 5.5. Honestly, guys, like, I recommend watching it if you're a fan of the Assassin's Creed games, just because, hey, we got an Assassin's Creed movie with a big budget, and they actually earned like double the budget back in box office. They made almost $250 million. So there technically could be a sequel, but it's just, I don't know. It's a fan service gone wrong that I still think people should watch as a fan of the franchise. If you're not a fan of Assassin's Creed, just don't bother wasting your time. But let me know what you thought of the Assassin's Creed movie down in the comments below. Check out the links down in the description to support the content creation dream. And as always, stay freaky.